everybody. How's it going? All right, Lindsay and I have decided that we wanted to do a little weekly coffee chat with you guys, just where we're hanging out. Sorry, I look like a drowned rat. It snowed like crazy here, and I was just walking the kids to school in the snow, which is loads of fun. All right, I'm gonna try to invite Lindsay here. And where do I find? All right, I have to wait till she's watching, I think. All right, come on, Lindsay. And then we can have a little chat. I made extra special coffee this morning. I made myself a healthier version of a peppermint mocha. Whenever I do, peppermint mocha is like my favorite thing ever. So this one, I just did coffee, and then I used a little bit of, I actually have a new one that I'm trying. It's a vegan chocolate protein. So I used a little, because I can't do dairy right now. So I did the chocolate protein as my creamer. And then I did a little bit of coconut whipped cream and sugar-free chocolate syrup on top. And then a couple drops of peppermint essential oil in it. So it's peppermint mocha. All right, let's see if Lindsay's here. Oh, Lindsay's here. Okay, hold on. Let's invite her. There we go. And then I don't have to talk to myself, which is fun.
Hello. Good morning.
I look a little bit like a drowned rat. It is crazy out there, and my hair got all wet from the ice and snow.
I do not envy that one bit.
Slightly different than your weather.
Yes, slightly different. I'm so excited. We haven't been live on this page in so long. And so
Right?
Christina and I were talking the other day, and we were like, you know what? We talk a lot, Christina and I, in live like this and in Messenger. And it seems that having a coffee chat with all of you guys would be really fun. So we thought, why not kick it off? So, well, I don't drink coffee. So I got my tea. Christina's got her coffee.
I already told them I made an extra special coffee. I made a skinny version of peppermint mocha.
Ooh, fun. I don't like coffee, so I can't get that excited about something like that, but I know people who love coffee are excited about that.
But yes, so, other people maybe.
Christina, tell them a little bit about what we're doing here with our coffee chats. What's the plan? It's really just us.
Well, yeah, so we just thought we would jump on here and kind of talk about whatever's going on, anything that we see specifically going on in the groups right now, anything that's going on personally with us, because Lindsay and I just like to talk about that. So if you guys jump on, if you have any questions, anything that you want us to answer for you, if there's anything that you're struggling with, we'd be happy to address that. I know I have one topic that I wanted to talk about a little bit that I'll mention in a second here. And then, yeah, every week we kind of want to try to do this. We're going to start with once a week. And, you know, if this takes off and if people are excited to hear this, we may move it to twice a week so that we can check in a little more frequently. Lindsay and I really believe that support is 100% the key to success in this journey. That even as we're doing a book club right now, and even as an upholder who I'm able to have that personal internal accountability, I still need a support system around me to keep me moving forward every day. It's easy to get stagnant in your journey. It's easy to, you know, just kind of put the blinders on and stop looking around. But if you're engaged and you're plugged in and you're getting support on a regular basis, you're more likely to succeed. I had read a stat when I first started these groups and this business and all of that stuff that you were 43% more likely to succeed if you have a support system in place. 43% is huge.
Like, yeah, it's crazy too, because we always say, and this is the big thing, is that there are many times where, you know, whether we have a support call or whether we're doing something in our business where both Christina and I are just like, oh, you know, we just don't feel it today. And then we get on the call or we get in the class or we do something and we're pumped and ready to go again. And so we always say this, like, you guys support us just as much as we support you. It's a little bit different. I mean, I as Christina says, she's an upholder. I'm actually an obliger. So for me, that external accountability is huge. And I say this all the time to our online live and interactive group class members is thank you for making me show up, because that's the big thing is that, you know, we work with each other, we support, we cheerleader, anytime something is amazing, we do it. When things are not going so great, you know, we're there for you. I was just watching in the Recipe for Weight Loss Success group. So guys, if you haven't been over there, go over there. That's our free support group. One person actually posted that she's struggling right now, and like 75 comments of people just being like, bah.
That was the one that I wanted to talk about. So this is something we see all the time is people that are further out from surgery and have fallen off the wagon, either have never made it to goal, but more importantly, the people that maybe made it to goal or close to goal were feeling pretty good, and then have sort of fallen off the wagon and ended up with some regain. Regain is something that's talked about somewhat a lot in our community. Some people just accept regain as a part of their journey, which is fine. If your surgeon or your surgical group says, you know, you're likely to have about a 10-pound regain, I don't necessarily agree with that has to be the case. Now, I am up a little bit of weight from my lowest, but I didn't actually like my lowest. So I set my lowest, my goal weight, as a certain weight, having never been there in my life before. And once I got there, I felt it was too small. Like, I didn't feel good at that weight. I also felt that I had to be extremely restrictive to stay at that weight. And that, you know, I couldn't have a skinny peppermint mocha. And I couldn't, you know, do some things. And I also didn't feel like I could really commit to workouts because I didn't feel like I had enough fuel. And so my low weight didn't feel right for me. So I'm up somewhere between 5 and 10 pounds from my low weight. And I feel good with that. But if you don't feel good with your regain, or if your regain is more, there are things that you can do. Your journey is not over because the scale has gone up. You wouldn't tell somebody who's, you know, a 23-year-old who has gained a little bit of weight, that, you know, you're too late in life now. You're never going to lose that weight. And essentially, we have brand new baby metabolisms when we have surgery, but you're not like a baby. You're more like somebody in their early 20s, where you have a fresh start at health. So you can't say that, you know, your journey's over just because you've had some regain. We've seen people get off significant amount of regains in our programs, just by starting fresh, by doing the right things all over again. And by starting fresh, I don't mean jumping on a liquid diet. If that's your idea of starting fresh, that is not my idea. It's not a good plan. It's not sustainable. It might get your 5, 10, 15 pounds off. But guess what? As soon as you stop eating liquids, you're going right back up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's interesting too, because not only have we seen people lose the 5 or 10 pounds of regain, we've also seen people 5 and 6 years out from the surgery actually start moving again, right? You know, that, as they call it, you know, the stall, the 2 years stall, the 4 years stall, and they've actually seen some changes, because it's almost like taking what you've been doing and evaluating it again. So remember back when you first had your surgery and there was lots of rules, and maybe your surgeon was amazing with, like, you know, you got a beautiful binder with lots of information. As you kind of go through your journey, you kind of let the reins go a little bit. And I mean, that's realistic, right? That's life. That's kind of, we don't want to be focused all the time. And I understand that. It's the same with what we say with Christina. She doesn't want to be so tight that she can stay at that small weight all the time. It's not fun. But as you let them go a little bit too far, that's when you're going to start seeing the regain. So now we're just saying, you know what? We've seen a lot of people talk about, you know, getting back on the sugar monster train. We've seen people, you know, regain and they're not sure what to do. We've seen people even say, I know exactly what to do. Why can't I do it? And I actually just posted a quote this morning just about, it's kind of like the idea of that insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The reality is, the more you do the same things, the more likely you're going to stay the same way, which makes sense. But don't try to change the world, right? I mean, that's why I was saying to somebody today, I was like, focus on that one thing, right? That one thing that's going to move you forward today, and that's it. So if you say, you know what, I'm going to drink one more glass of water today, and that's all you got mentally capacity for, do it, because it's better than doing nothing again and again and again. And here's the big thing. If you're still in our support groups and you're still commenting and you're taking the time to post that you feel like you're failing, you're still in the game. You're not out. If you were out, you'd be gone. We'd be like, where did she go? I haven't seen her, right? Like, you would be out of here, but you're not. So stay strong and stay here, because that's where the magic happens, in these support groups, for sure.
Well, and everybody wants to feel like a success. Nobody wants to feel like they're failing. And if you jump on one of those liquid diets, I'm not going to lie, I have never done one of those liquid diets since the beginning, like when I had surgery. And I did my liquid diet for surgery. And then after that, I've been tempted, I'm not going to lie, that there's been times where I've seen my scale go up a couple pounds and I'm like, ooh, maybe I should just dump on liquids for a few days. And then my brain kicks in and I'm like, no, Christina, you know better than that. Don't do that. But it is tempting, because you see people do it and you see them lose that 5, 10, whatever pounds. And you're like, oh, I could do that. But for me, I remember in the diet world before surgery, that I hated feeling like a failure. And every diet I went on, I felt like a failure at one point in that diet. So you want to do what Lindsay said and do small little pieces to make yourself feel successful. I'm going to drink 1 more cup of water today. And then at the end of the day, you drank your 1 more cup of water and you feel successful because you did what you set out to do. If you say that you're going to jump back on liquids and then as soon as you eat a piece of broccoli that wasn't liquid, you suddenly feel like a failure. Which is craziness that a piece of broccoli would make you feel like a failure, or a piece of chicken, or like something that's super healthy. But because you set out with this unrealistic expectation, then you're going to feel like a failure. So set yourself up for those reasonable successes. Do the 1 cup of water, 1 extra cup of water a day for 3 days. And once you've sort of mastered that, then add in the next step. And then it's like, okay, now I'm going to try for 3 days to eat breakfast within 30 minutes of waking every day. That's my next goal. So then I'm having 1 extra cup of water and now I'm eating breakfast within 30 minutes of waking. Yay me. 3 days of that, add in another little piece. Because a lot of people, when I talk to them, that they've fallen off the wagon and they're struggling, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you need to get back on track? And they start naming everything. They're like, well, my water's garbage. I'm having too much sugar. I'm not eating breakfast. I'm binging. I'm grazing. They're doing everything wrong. Fix 1 piece at a time. And then once you've mastered that piece, then you can fix the next piece. And start with the easy things. Don't start with the biggest things. Don't cut sugar. If you're a sugar junkie and you all of a sudden cut sugar, you're going to cut somebody. So just don't do it. Start with the small little successes. And then once you've mastered some of those and you're having success, then you move to the next one and the next one. And you just keep plugging away that way.
And we also see,
Hi, Carol.
Hi, everybody. I don't see any comments or anybody, so hello. One of the things that we often
Carol
see...
says she hates liquid diets.
Yes.
Which we all hate liquid diets, and we love Carol. And Shannon just says hi.
Hello. We see this often, and one of the big things, and it goes back to what Christina just said, somebody's like, oh, I've fallen off the wagon, and somebody jumps in, they're like, oh, you should try the keto diet. It's been amazing for me and all this, that, and I'm like, I love that we support each other, but as Christina said, if you've been off your plan and you're eating sugar going out your yin yang and you are not drinking water, the last thing that you're going to be able to do, to be perfectly honest, is boom, swap it over and be perfect in keto. It's unrealistic. And so we go back to that expectations. What can we expect to happen? Now, yes, the expectation of doing things slowly means that the weight might slowly come off. Right? Again, if you're 2-3 years out, you're not going to be seeing the numbers go off the scale the same way you might have done first thing in surgery. But if you are going to do things in that slow space, also understand that it's going to take a little bit while to get those weights off. And that's the big thing, is that, I mean, I used to always say this even well before I joined this bariatric community. It's like, if you wanted to get somewhere, i.e. 20 pounds, 10 pounds, I could get you there, but if you could sustain it, or if you could, mentally stay there, is a whole other ballgame. That's why yo-yo dieting exists. That's why, there's multi-billion-dollar industry for food and exercise and all that stuff, because it can happen. But like the liquid diet, the moment you change the way you're eating or doing, you're going to see that weight gain. And that's the downside, right? If you can sustain keto for the... Right, like if you can sustain keto for the rest of your life, hats off to you. I think that's amazing. But 90% of the population will not. And they will binge on something. And then all of a sudden that 20 pounds or 10 pounds or 4 pounds they lost, boom, goes right back up again, and probably additional too.
And I find in our community, and I mean, I'm someone that lives in this community, we don't tend to have ironclad willpower. Let's be honest, that most of us didn't get to the point of needing weight loss surgery by having ironclad willpower. So to say, like, I could design, anybody in this group, a meal plan that would guarantee results if you followed my plan. But I mean, do you want to eat literally boiled chicken and broccoli for days and days? Because those are the meal plans that I see existing out there in the fitness and nutrition world, that it's like, oh, if you just eat this and drink 3 protein shakes and have some boiled chicken and some broccoli with nothing on it, and yes, you will lose weight fairly quickly, probably, for most of us. But like Lindsay said, you're probably not going to actually do that plan for very long, because I've done it too. We talked on our call the other night about the cabbage soup diet. I've done the cabbage soup diet, not since surgery, but before surgery, I have done the cabbage soup diet. I believe the entire plan is somewhere between 7 and 14 days. I think I made it to day 4 or day 5. And then I was like, no more soup for me. And the soup is good, occasionally, but not living off of it. And yeah, I've done the HCG diet. I've done, Jenny Craig. I've done all of these diets. And I'm a yo-yo, like I was a classic yo-yo dieter because I would do them and it would be great and I'd be getting awesome results and everything would be going good. And then a cupcake would walk by, and I'd be like,
those damn walking cupcakes. They ruin
right?
everything.
I don't even know how they get in my house. I don't know how that all happens. But then all of a sudden, I'm elbows deep in a cupcake, and I can't stop. And yeah, the binge cycle starts, and then the shame cycle starts, which I think is even worse than the binge cycle, because then it kind of perpetuates the whole thing. And then it's, okay, well, I need to get back on track. And it's so hard. And that is a classic mistake that I even see in the bariatric world of people that are too strict. And I often sit back and smile to myself when I see people that are newly out from surgery and that are preachy about the rules and about, you need to do this and you can never eat carbs and you can't have a banana and you can't do this and don't drink coffee. And that's fine that you can live in your bariatric bubble. But talk to me when you're 3.5 years out and tell me if you're still living in your bariatric bubble. So you need to find a way to make your bariatric lifestyle fit in your real life, whatever your real life is. And if your real life is boiled chicken and broccoli, then hey, hats off to you. Mine is not. Mine is peppermint mocha.
And I think that's and walking cupcakes, because that's really important in life. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? I mean, we talk to people. I mean, we've talked to thousands of people over the last 3 years just about, why did they have surgery in the first place, right? Going back to that why. And for the most part, people didn't want to live in the yo-yo dieting world, but then they had the surgery, and then, their surgeon told them about keto, or somebody else told them about paleo and Whole30, and we still hear all of those like diet key words that pop up in there, and it's great if it works for you, but it goes back to the same thing. Does it work for you long term? Because your surgery was really about that life, right? I mean, some of you have had surgery, early on in life, some of you had surgery later on in life, but you still have a ton of life to go. And if you are in a position where you can't maintain what you've chosen to do, then that's not a lifestyle. That's another diet. And really, did you go through the whole surgery to have another diet on your plate? I don't think so. So it's constant, right? It's that lifestyle, what it's going to work. I have lived and breathed Christina's journey throughout this when she was still losing, now when she's maintaining. Don't get me wrong, we've had a few alcoholic beverages together and maybe some walking cupcakes. It happens. That's life. That's what we, that's what we do in our life, is that we will always have those moments. But you don't want to be in a situation where you're constantly eating, feeling guilty, binging, feeling guilty, feeling terrible, feeling guilty. Oh, I did great. It's exhausting mentally. It's hard on your body physically. If you've had your surgery and you've reset your metabolism and you have this beautiful baby, teenage, 20-something-year-old metabolism, and then you go and screw around with it again, like, it doesn't make any sense. And that's where the liquid diets come in. And that's where, all of those like 800 calorie diets come in. They're messing with your beautiful new metabolism. And it's so sad to see.
And I would venture a bet, and I have not done this experiment, but I would guess that if we took somebody like Lisa Boulay, who has not had surgery, and we took somebody else who has had surgery, like me, for instance, and we put us both on an 800 calorie a day diet, I bet we would both lose weight. I bet we would both be miserable and we want to hurt people, but I bet we would both lose weight. So just people in our group, that it's not the surgery that's losing you weight. If you're eating 800 calories a day, it's 800 calories that's losing you weight. And that's no more sustainable after surgery than it is before surgery. You can sustain it for a period of time after surgery because you will get often, if you're me, you don't, but often you will get less hunger. I still get traditional hunger, so I would still hurt people. But you get less hungry, and you do get full faster, so you can consume less calories physically. But the only thing that changed after your surgery is you got a tinier tummy. Your organs still need the same amount of energy, aka calories, to run them. Your brain is the same as it was before surgery, which many of you have noticed. Thankfully, but you still crave the same foods that you used to, even if you eat them and they either make you sick or they physically make you not feel well, or you can't consume them because you have what happened to me last night. Oh my goodness, I had a tummy thing that my stomach was in pain and it was awful. Anyways, but so our tiny tummies sometimes get angry at us, but you still know that that walking cupcake tastes better than that piece of broccoli in your brain. And those of you who tell me that the cupcake does not, you're crazy. And I know I shouldn't call people names, but cupcakes taste better than broccoli. And I like broccoli, but not as much as cupcakes. So my brain still knows that, even though I had surgery and I have a brand new tummy, I know that, you know, the foods that I've always liked my whole life still taste really good. So that's why in our programs, one of the things I try to do is bring foods that taste good and things that we like and make them healthier. Are they always the healthiest options? No, they're not boiled chicken and broccoli, as I keep bringing up. But yesterday I made a healthier version, which I'll have to do the recipe for today because people are going to attack me about it. But I made a healthier version of chicken pot pie. So I made a healthier version of a pie crust, like a whole wheat pie crust, and I made it a little bit healthier without all the lard and stuff. And instead of doing the pot pie in the crust and then crust on top, I only did the crust on top. And yeah, we just made it a little bit healthier. And Dallas and I both ate it yesterday, and it was freaking delicious. I posted a picture of the aftermath of it. It was literally just my empty plate.
There was just crumbs all over it. I was like,
because I was eating it and I was like, I should really take a picture of this, but I couldn't even stop eating it. It was so good. So I still like to eat delicious food, and that's never going to change because my brain is the same. So if I just knew that I had to, you know, live on one of those crazy diets for the rest of my life, I couldn't do it. And then, like Lindsay said before, with people offering advice, we love that everybody offers advice, but I don't love the advice of this worked for me, so you should do it, because all of us have very different bodies. So I give you guys suggestions, but what works for me doesn't work for Lindsay. So, you know, we talk frequently and Lindsay will be like, okay, having a bad day, you know, need to get my eating in check a little bit. And she'll ask me for advice and I'm like, oh, well, just make yourself some little rules and this will work. And she laughs at me because no, it won't. And yeah, like, you know, if one of the things that I'm not drinking as much of now, but I am drinking one today, is a protein coffee. Well, if I suggested protein coffee to Lindsay, Lindsay doesn't drink coffee. So how's that going to work? On my post last night where I was having tummy troubles, beef didn't sit well with me last night is what it was. If I suggested to people, and there was a whole bunch of people that said beef didn't sit well for them. So if I made a meal plan for them that included a whole bunch of beef, well, it's not going to work. So, you know, and keto tends to be heavier in the beef and pork rather than the chicken. So again, those people probably aren't going to be super great candidates for a keto plan. So we just have to be aware that everybody, you know, things work a little bit differently for everybody. Everybody's body's a little bit different, and it's totally fine.
And it is, and the one thing I love about that is that, you know, you'll hear, if you've been around for a while or if you're brand new and you're like, who are these Lindsay and Christina chicks anyways? You'll never hear us guarantee anything. And the reason for that is I've lived in the industry for over 20 years. Christina's lived here now. There is no way we can guarantee anything, because the bottom line is, as Christina said, we can put together the best meal plan, the best workout, the best mindset that you could possibly do, and then you don't follow it. How can we guarantee that? Right? You could have this amazing meal plan and then you have belly troubles because of the beef. Well, we can't guarantee that. So when it comes down to what you can do for you, you are your best lab rat. And I've said that, we've said that from the beginning. You know, there's things that you can try. Keto works for some, it does not work for others. Paleo works for some, it does not work for others. And so when it comes down to what's gonna work best, it comes down to you. Right? What's going to work? So we give suggestions. I mean, unless you're doing the customized meal planning with Christina or the personal training with me or whatever, that's a different story because that is customizable for you. But otherwise, we give you the suggestions and we hope that it works, and then we kind of tailor it back and try that and try this. So just remember that even when you guys are giving advice, we love it. We love when you guys support other people in this community, but it's also, remember, what works for you doesn't necessarily work for them. So don't be like, oh my gosh, you have to drink this amazing drink I just poured in my water and it works fantastic. You know, and I'm not going to take a dig at direct sales in this place, but I kind of am, because they always are like swooping statements. If you can do it, I can do it. And now I've actually done a lot of direct sales. I won't lie. I've tried a lot of different things, and I won't lie. Some of it didn't work. Some of it did not work for me. Some of it did not work for my clients. Now, that's not a very good walking advertisement for our direct sales companies, so they're not going to talk about that, but that's the truth of the matter. Anybody who tells you that this is 100% guaranteed to work for you, run away fast, because there's no guarantee.
Well, it's funny. You say you've been in the fitness and wellness industry for over 20 years. So have I, in a different way. I went on my first diet at 13. So I just, did some quick math because seriously, I used a calculator. This is bad. 23 years is how long I've been in the diet world. And surgery is the first thing that's ever worked for me. And it wasn't the surgery that worked for me. I will never give the credit of my success to my surgery. It was my mindset, it was my dedication, it was my diet, it was my nutrition, it was my fitness, it was everything that I have done. It was me that worked for me this time, that I've never done that before. Yes, the surgery gave me a great tool, it gave me a head start, and it made my efforts actually be able to work, but it was me that works for me, and it's still me that works for me every day. I have to get up every morning. My kids ate Captain Crunch for breakfast this morning. Do you know how bad I wanted Captain Crunch for breakfast this morning? But I had to say no to Captain Crunch for breakfast because that's not a good choice. And please don't judge the fact that my children had Captain Crunch for breakfast. But anyway.
We'll blame Dallas. We'll blame Dallas. We know that he's the one who brings the
Obviously,
Captain
he brought
Crunch.
it into the house. It wasn't me.
No, never.
But yeah, so those are the things that you have to make the choices on every single day. So I have tried pretty much every diet that is known. There's very few that I have not tried. And I didn't get very good results with a lot of them. The only other thing that ever worked for me, and I'll say worked because I did lose about 85 pounds. However, after I got pregnant and had kids, I gained it all back and then some. But anyways, was basically what I didn't know at the time, but was macro tracking. I literally had a spreadsheet of everything that I ate in the run of a day. And I made it all balanced in terms of calories. I know this like makes you ill. Calories, protein, fats, and carbs. It was macro tracking, but I didn't know the term macro tracking at the time. But I had to hit a certain number for protein, a certain number for fat, and a certain number for carbs. And that is, I lost like 85 pounds before surgery doing that. And then I did do some extremes in the gym. I was pretty extreme about my fitness at the time, but I didn't have children. I was a single girl. And I was spending like 3 or 4 hours a day in the gym, which I don't advocate for at all. I was not eating enough. I still have some of those spreadsheets that I lived on, and it's kind of disturbing. So yeah, I remember when I met my ex-husband, and literally on the fridge at my house were my spreadsheets, and he was like, "What is this? Like, who lives like this?" And I was like, "Oh, I do."
It's so funny. And I'm not surprised to hear that in any way, shape, or form, just so we're clear. And if you guys aren't following along with our book club right now, we are talking about The 4 Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin, and it explains the craziness that Christina is. Because if you're sitting here listening and going, oh my, I will never be able to be successful if I have to do that, don't worry. There's a lot of us.
You don't.
You don't have to do that. I remember actually a few years ago, maybe even, I don't know, 10 years ago, one of the really kind of celebrity trainers came out with this amazing workout that was supposed to get, and fitness plan and meal plan that was supposed to get everybody results. And so a lot of my clients were talking about it. And of course, I wanted to see what it was all about. So I bought it and took a look at it. And it was almost exactly what you're talking about. It was like a spreadsheet with it. And like, as soon as I opened it, I was like, close. I'm like, I know that that's never, ever, ever going to be working for me ever in my life. Like I could set myself up to try for a day, maybe a week if I'm lucky, but I know it's never going to work. So that was not my thing. She, if I went back now, I bet you would be an upholder, was talking to the Christinas of the world. The rest of us are just like, no. And even My Fitness Pal, right? That's what My Fitness Pal is. They just made it a little bit easier. But yes, even
they made it so that obligers and questioners can still sort of use it. Rebels, no way. But the obligers and the questioners of the world can sort of do the MyFitnessPal thing to some degree, especially for obligers. If you gave your login information, like so that somebody else could check on you, that would probably work very well. It's funny because I am such an upholder, and like it's very clear that that's just something that I do very well. And so Lindsay's husband, Ben, started the audiobook yesterday of the book that we're reading, The 4 Tendencies. He started it yesterday on his run, and he said he was literally running and listening to the part about the upholder and had to stop and laugh several times of how much it was me. He's just like, you were like textbook, like everything.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. But and I mean, again, come and join our book club because we talk about a lot about this. But that's the thing, like we as people, some of those things when it comes to upholders or obligers or whatever, we've kind of beaten ourselves up about it for the longest time. And now that it's like, oh, Oh, that's amazing. I won't spoil it, but read it. Come join our book club because it is really interesting. It's over in our free Facebook group, Recipes for Weight Loss Success. So come join.
I seriously can't believe though, like for years, like you said, the cycle of shame around that I've always been like this, like spreadsheet girl. And that's just how I've always been. And then I see other people in our group that are also, you know, spreadsheet focused, and can live on their spreadsheet. Then there's other people that make a spreadsheet and then can't do it. Like they make it and they're really good at making it. But living the spreadsheet life, it's not for everyone. So yeah, but I have literally tried and failed at so many diets. And I mean, I have the tendency inside of me to uphold, but it's just, you can't live like that forever. And there has to be quality of life. So that is something that Lindsay and I are very passionate about in all of our groups. In our free group, the Recipes for Weight Loss Success group, we talk a lot about it. And in our paid programs. And just so that you guys, if you are watching along and you don't know anything about our paid programs, we try to make our paid programs things that everybody can access in different levels. Our starter program, which actually includes a whole crap ton of stuff, is $20 a month. Like that is it. And we have weekly support calls, we have check-ins, we have a private Facebook group. There's online recorded workouts. There's like 50 plus of them that you can go ahead and log in and do yourself. There's meal plans, there's recipes. I don't even know what else there is. There's lots of stuff in that group. It's seriously like for $20, it's crazy. Then we have our level up from there is our online live interactive group classes. And in the online live interactive group classes, you actually get online live interactive group fitness classes. So you can come and join us, right? What a good name. It's very descriptive. So you log in as though you're like doing like a FaceTime call or Skype, which Skype isn't very popular anymore. We use a different service, but anyways, you log on as though you're doing a FaceTime call and there's a group of us. Sometimes there's a couple of us, sometimes there's 10 of us, all doing a workout together. You have a trainer who is certified there, guiding you through the workout. So they're telling you what moves to do, and that was something I always struggled with, but how do I know what moves go with what? Like, okay, so I can do a bicep curl, but then what do I do after that? And you know, I don't want to work all biceps for 30 minutes. So how do I know what other muscles to work with my biceps? So that's something that I learned. And that's something that the trainers will show you what to do. So you don't ever have to think about your workout, you just show up. So the trainer will do and then if for some reason, so if shoulder press is part of your workout and you bummed your shoulder, well, the trainer is going to be able to modify and tell you what to do so that you don't hurt that shoulder further. Or if you have bad knees and squats are part of the workout, we're going to be able to show you things to do instead of a squat, or how to modify a squat. Or Lindsay taught me that anybody can do a burpee. We have clients that literally couldn't walk without a walker and they can do a burpee, which is madness to me. That, I mean, let's bring torture to a mass scale, right? So that's our online live classes. You get unlimited live and interactive classes. You can do, I believe right now in our schedule, we have somewhere around 26 or 27 classes a week, something like that. In all different time zones. We span 6 time zones. So, seven. Just went all, 7 time zones. Oh my goodness, crazy time. So yeah, that's our next level, and that one is $99 a month, and it's again the unlimited classes. So you can do as many classes as you want. Right now we have our challenge going on, which is super fun. In the challenge price, you get the price for $99, and so you get the $20 program for free in the challenge, and then you get unlimited online classes as well, and you have the chance to win like an $800 prize. So that's kind of fun. And then Lindsay and I also have, if you don't want to do the group kind of stuff, like if you're like, I really want the support of Christina's nutrition expertise, but I don't want to be in a group for it. I want it one-on-one. We do one-on-one nutrition coaching now. It's $27.50 a week, and you can do 1 week, or you can do 4 weeks, or you can do 12 weeks, or whatever you want. And that is completely customized to you and your journey. So we talk about, we really dig into exactly what's happening with you. There's built-in personal one-on-one accountability. For some people, we kind of create a meal plan. For some people, I just help you make healthier choices. For some people, I basically walk around and slap your hand every time you try to eat junk food. It's really whatever you want. So that one's a lot more customized. And then we have our personal training as well that we started back in May, that we brought into Sassy Evolution. You've been personal training online for quite a long time, but we brought it into the business in May.
Yeah, we brought it into May, and again, it's very much customizable. So instead of it being in a group environment, you're one-on-one with your trainer. And it's really great because if you have any limitations or you have need modifications, or if you specifically want to work on getting your shoulder strength back or any of those things, it's another option for sure to do it. And some people just are a lot more comfortable one-on-one, and some people just like the one-on-one attention, right? In the group, it's a little bit more like, here, talk to these people. But it is another great option to work with. And if you ever think that online is not as powerful or effective as in person.
Don't ever tell Lindsay and Ben that.
Don't be fooled, because I have done both. I have done online and I've done in person for many, many years. And I can tell you, I have seen amazing, amazing results. And it comes back to the same thing with all of our programs, is consistency, right? If you're willing to put the work in, we are willing to be here to support you to do whatever it is that needs to happen. Some people, want a little bit, some people want a lot, and that's kind of the beauty of what we have. Yeah, it's been a pretty incredible, well, I guess we're all coming up almost 3 years now, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's over 3 years. We started 3 years ago in June/July.
Oh my God, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. So yeah. So
we were so busy this summer. We're usually slower in the summer, but we stayed so busy through this summer we forgot to have a party.
I know.
So we're probably due for a party. Hey, how about we do that in Palm Springs in like a week and a bit?
We should have a party. Say fun times. That's the other thing that we do a lot of. We have in-person events because we think it's very, very important. As much as we love the online world, Christina and I talk a lot. We actually see each other quite a few times a year. Even when I was living in Canada, we saw each other because it's important to have that in-person connection as well. So we really like to meet the people that we get to hang out with online all the time. And to be fair, I know Christina and I say this all the time, some of the friendships that we have, some of the connections we have are stronger than I've ever had in person with these people that are in our online community, which is amazing.
Well, and it's hilarious when we do in-person events, because often we will show up for in-person events and we don't know the people that we're showing up to. But it doesn't feel like that. Like, literally within minutes, you feel like you're best friends with these people. And by the time a weekend ends, you feel like they're part of your family. Like, it's just this crazy atmosphere that I've never experienced anywhere. And I've worked other businesses and things. I was in direct sales for quite a long time as well. And wouldn't know a lot of people that I worked with in person. And then we'd get together for conventions once a year, and it was good. But this is just so different. And I think it's because we share such a deeply personal journey. In terms of weight loss and mindset, that those are just big things. And when you're opening up and exposing those, inner layers and things like that to people, it's hard to not build that trust and have those relationships be so strong and powerful. But the fact that they do translate to offline relationships is really cool. That I know now, if I'm having a rough day or something, or last night when I'm not the person that posts oh my gosh, I'm having this thing, I don't know what to do online. But yesterday it was my stomach was so sore and I didn't know what was wrong with it. So posting it online in the Facebook group felt like the right thing to do, because I was like, these are my people and they'll know what to do. So yeah, it's just this cool world that I didn't know existed 3 years ago.
We definitely share vulnerabilities and share successes. And I'll tell you right now, again, if you're out there in the bariatric world or the weight loss community and you are in other Facebook groups and you're just cringing at every time somebody is a food police, or every time somebody calls you a terrible name, that doesn't happen with us. And the reason is that our number one only rule is be kind always. And I think anybody who's been in our groups or anybody who's been in our business feels that, knows that. It's a one strike, you're out. We don't give second chances to that, because the reality is we are in such a place where the support, the vulnerability, the communication is so important that if we ever lost that, we would lose everything. And so for us, it's all about kindness.
And it's so funny because I'm in a lot of bariatric groups. I don't say a lot in a lot of them, but I'm in a lot of them still. And I frequently see people getting attacked and they're getting food police, people getting kicked out of groups. There's drama. And I'm like, I bet in 3 years, we've had to remove less than 10 people from our group. And we're 18,000 plus people in our recipes group. There's a lot of people in there. And I really believe that it's leading from the top and from the top down. Lindsay and I it's a zero tolerance. You're always respectful. You can have your opinion and that's totally fine. And we don't always think that you have, We advocate for you to not agree with everybody's opinion. We advocate for you to question people, but kindly and respectfully always. You don't have to agree with everything that Lindsay and I say. We have people in our paid programs that don't agree with everything we say. We sometimes don't agree with what each other says. So that's totally fine. You don't have to agree with everything, but there's a respectful way to disagree and a disrespectful way. And we just find 99.9% of the time, people do it the respectful way. And that, or they've learned this really handy tool of scrolling past. Something that seems to have gotten lost on the internet, that you don't actually have to comment on everything you disagree with, that sometimes you can just scroll past it, and that's allowed. And yeah, it's just this really cool community. So if you're not in our Recipes for Weight Loss Success group, definitely head on over there. And if you want to take a look at the other programs that we were talking about, go to sassyevolution.com, and you'll see them all on there. You'll see the personal training, the nutrition coaching, the healthy living program, and the online live and interactive group classes on there as well. So.
Yeah. Well,
awesome.
And so guys,
my coffee is gone.
I know. I was going to say, this was our very first coffee chat. And to be fair, we actually talked quite a bit about important stuff, where sometimes when Christina and I get together, we just like talk about the weather and talk about, you know, running around with cupcakes and like that type of stuff. So you just never know what you're going to get on a coffee chat with Christina and Lindsay. Some days we talk about important things and other days we don't. So that's the fun part about it. But if you guys do have any questions, or if there's anything you'd love for us to focus on next week, the beauty of this is really just kind of to get together, for us to have a chat with you guys, to go over some information, to answer questions, and to just, you know, enjoy some time. So let us know. But other than that, I think we're good. I don't even know how long that was. I feel like we talked forever always.
We always do, but people will watch the first 5 minutes. By now, nobody's watching anymore. Actually, I see a couple people still here. But Alyssa said, lifelong for sure. She's coming to Canada and to Mexico. Then it's funny, the friendships that you do. And we have had lots of people that have, you know, hung out and visited and gone to different events. Lindsay just got back from an event that was not a business event. They just went to Nashville for a girlfriend's weekend. Which is super great. We have people that get together, you know, and hang out for coffee. Some people meal prep together. There's all kinds of stuff. I had to get together here on the weekend at my house with 3 of the local girls. So much fun. I posted yesterday looking for a gym buddy. Now that, if you've seen my weather outside, I can't walk around our pond anymore. Well, I could, but I won't. So our gym, one of our local gyms, has an indoor track that I'd like to take my walk run indoors now that the cooler, snowy, awful weather is here. So,
yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I'm going to go out and shovel my driveway again. Yay.
Bye, guys.